Welcome to your Deluxe Progressed Natal Chart Report. This is the Peace Dealer, and I hope you gain the utmost of quality from this report. Very, very glad you enjoyed the natal chart reading. And as we can see, I have the progressed chart. You have here in green. The progressed chart moves a day every year. And so you were born September 13th, but have progressed into October 14th, which denotes a very powerful evolution into the cardinal sign Libra, taking you from being a double Virgo master into completing your cosmic agent / artist's initiation, which makes even more profound the timing that goes into you actually getting this report. So, that being said, we know that not only do you have your progressed sun and rising in Libra, but you also have your progressed moon in Aries. So the progressed, whenever we look at progressed charts, we want to look at progressed lunar cycles, as progressed lunar cycles will accurately let us know what exactly you're developing and at what stage of your development you currently are. And what is very, very, very key here is to see that you are rounding up your progressed full moon transit, or rather your progressed full moon cycle. And concerning this full moon cycle, what this accomplishes or does is it relative to you coming into your Libra cycle not only completes your lesson being a Libra, but prepares you to step into your Scorpio initiation. The full moon, the new moon cycle is the cycle that starts, of course, obviously with new beginnings. And the full moon cycle is what not only completes, okay, but also puts you into the greatest success that you're set to come into, okay, during everything that you've learned. So keep that in mind because, for example, I just currently completed my progressed moon in Capricorn. Well, I just completed my progressed moon in Aquarius, and that followed the Capricorn moon with my progressed Cancer sun. So that was around the time that I broke through into that was around the time that I broke through into full-time success, or working full-time, or I broke through my career, and it was a very pivotal period for me. It was the year I became Magic Mike. So seeing that you're coming into this full moon cycle that's going to exact itself in another 6-7 months, as it takes 2 hours for the moon to shift a degree and 1 month for the progressed moon to shift a degree, then we're going to see the complete opposition here at 21 degrees, because you seem to be at the very last minute of 20 degrees and you're getting ready to not only step into 21, but stepping into 21 now marks a full 30-degree progression, which is also highly significant. You technically already passed this at 20 degrees and 39 minutes, Libra, but it's definitely a good and powerful mark of maturity and growth. So when you were born, you had the Virgo sun transit progressed, and the moon eventually progressed into new moon Libra, and then this is what led to the beginning of this Libra cycle. And now the full moon is coming out in Aries to complete it. And when we now look, and this is also very important, because based on your progressed rising, your progressed moon falling in your natal 8th based on the equal and whole sign system is now falling into your progressed 7th. So it's evolving the authenticity with which you powerfully hold space and deal with other individuals, taking your classic spirit and personality and being in a position to draw out the latent raw potential of other people, while also completing the reason why Aries completes Libra and Libra completes Aries, but in this case the Aries moon completes Libra's expression of character classically, with the authentic receptivity and originality to be towards other people, while maintaining the intelligent, classic, and more so presentable persona, giving you the best of both worlds, allowing you to be both original and polished, both raw and polished. This is even more pivotal, knowing that being born in '89, you and I are part of the same soul group, with North Node Aqua, where your moon is receptive to, and Saturn in Capricorn, with also Jupiter in Cancer. So, welcome to the Goat Squad once again. It's definitely a privilege and honor to be one of us, considering the height of power we possess and your sole knowledge of this. Um, you're ahead of me in this progression game because I just entered Pisces. I'm like 0 degrees progressed Pisces right now. My whole life is getting ready to change. And this is where um, you can tell a whole lot of the nature of your progression and how it's directly going to feel based on your progressed moon. So when my progressed moon was in Sagittarius, then this was characterized by a powerful, no, a magical element of, um, having a lot of free time. I went out a lot. As soon as it went into Capricorn, I was busy and I didn't have any more free time. I was just flooded with and then, you know, we have the progressed moon in Aqua. For me, that was when I went back to school. Um, and now that it's left Aqua, I'm graduating. Now it's going into Pisces. I'm getting ready to step into, you know, my career full time, and Pisces is a part of my 10th house career. So the progressed moon has definitively been almost frighteningly accurate in the way that it gives you the flavor of what you're feeling or set to feel. And given that as a Virgo, and that's another thing I really appreciate about you, is that you're a mutable sign going through a progression. So, as a fellow mutable sign, Gemini, from Gemini to Virgo, the purpose of mutable sign progressions is to take the magical essence. Let me rewind. So, mutable signs are magical beings. We're actually the only magical beings in the zodiac, and so we're exclusive. So you're going to see fixed signs eventually evolve into a magical state of being to convert their fixed energy into more versatility and skill, and also develop self-esteem. So regardless of the state you are, when you progress into the next zodiac sign since your birth, it is second house to your natal sign. And so this is what allows you to build your self-esteem and also to build accordingly a very, in this case, powerful sense of confidence. This is where after you are defining your gender identity and expression of sun, you are now carving out the value and the worth of such. And this is what uh, allows you to not only shift gears, you want to see this as like an evolution state. So you have your base state at Virgo Sun, and now you've reached up to 21 degrees of Libra energy that you can activate and express. You want to think of it as a range to where you go from 20 degrees to 21 Libra in your expression. And the more you progress, the more you can evolve, which I think is one of the most fascinating facets of astrology ever in life. And of course, now when we come to the magical beings, okay, because magical beings are the highest state of energy, supported by the power of cardinal signs and the strength of fixed. Mutable signs are the weakest. We're actually the weakest, but we're the most magical because what we teach in states is that you could be the most powerful. Let's say we were fighting. You could be the most powerful and punch harder than me, or you can be the strongest and my punches do nothing to you. But I would still rather be a mutable sign because I would have skill, perception, and technique to take your power and strength and use it against you, and perhaps push you at an angle to where now your strength makes you fall harder, or hit a pressure point that you may be weak at. This is how mutable signs can, even though they get put in check by cardinal signs because power can kind of change it, this is how mutable signs kind of can gain greater perceptual dominance over those with power and strength, intellect and perception. So this is where mutable sign progressions step back into the states of awareness, and we progress into cardinal signs. This is where we take the magical essence of the cause-effect relationship with our spirit ability, because cardinal signs is spirit power, fixed signs is spirit currency or spirit strength, I like to say, and then mutable is spirit magic. So we're progressing and mastering, and then this is even more important because you and I were both born 20 degrees, which means that we were already born masters of our sign. Mastery starts at the third decade of 20 degrees, fully mastered at 29. So at 10, you already graduated into Libra, which is gangster. You're taking the mastery of your magical spirit being, and you're now progressing and converting it into social spirit power. Or in our case, we're converting spirit magical being into spirit power. And this is now through this. Pisces does this into Aries. Sagittarius does this into Capricorn. Gemini does this into Cancer. And Virgo, you do this into Libra. And so this is what takes the weak, this is what builds strength in the seemingly weak nature of our spirit, and now builds power, adds power through actions. And so this characterizes taking our mutable perception and simultaneously now being and acting. So even though you're a progressed Libra sun, you're still very much so going to be Virgo, because in your chart, your identity is tied to your spirit and your desire. And this travels with you as Mars, Sun, and AC have now evolved into classic mastery. I'm not gonna lie, the Virgo Libra progression is one of the most important. I think the only one more important is Sag to Capricorn, because that represents a graduation of God consciousness. But Virgo, representing the end of the first 6, headed into the second half of the wheel, is too significant, as this masters your ability to serve, and is also aligned to your destiny, seeing that your progressed sun is now trining your natal moon. Soul. So, once again, the significance of us as spirit beings now developing psychic power. All right, we're converting our magic to psychic power. People just kind of see Cancer as psychic, but Aries, Libra, and Capricorn is also psychic. Libra is a more intellectual, mental, psychic power, and Capricorn is all the psychic abilities of Aries, Cancer, and Libra put together. So this is where your now based on Virgo, your analytical mastery. Okay, if we take the significance of Virgo, Virgo is Aries, the cardinal action of authentic originality. Taurus, the fixed nature of common sense values and qualities. Gemini, the mutable enlightenment of magic. The mutable magic of enlightenment, rather. Cancer, the cardinal power of sincere psychic ability and emotions. And Leo, the fixed quality of courage and heart. Okay, if we think about your identity, your 5 senses, your mind, your feelings, and your heart, Virgo brings all of that together to master it and integrate it in one's lifestyle. So that's what Virgo tells Leo. Like, okay, Leo, like you're clearly a showman, and you can evoke all this strength, but is it a part of your lifestyle? Like, do you do this every day though? Which is pretty dope. And Leo, of course, progresses into this mastery. So this is where Virgo literally integrates all five facets of the human individual, or the individual of any living being, into one's behavior. And now this is why the progression into Libra is so important, because now once you've gained all that mastery, you are now progressing into a character. So mutable signs are just more magical essences. Cardinal signs are actual characters. This is why cardinal signs, it's hard for them to understand mutable signs. It's like, who are you? Like, are you this or are you that? They have yet to learn that as multidimensional beings, we are never just one person. But this is what fleshes the multiple variability of your expression to now polish itself in a character, so that you can take the mastery of the first six zodiac signs and now step into your awareness and character as an agent, a cosmic agent, an artist. And I like to use the artist because the artist successfully and charmingly takes the first six zodiac signs and masterfully presents that to an audience, or presents that to you. And they use their art to express facets of their being in a palatable, presentable way that provides meaning. Hence why third house of Libra is Sagittarius of meaning, to show people the skill and nature of their heart. And this is why Libra is opposite Aries, because Aries is just raw talent. Aries is just, I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to seize the day. I'm not even going to take a goddamn shower. I'm just going to get off of bed and I'm going to seize the goddamn day because I'm raw and I got it like that. Libra is going to now, of course, wake up out of bed, maybe look at themselves in the mirror. But instead of just going, they might, I don't know, brush their teeth, take a shower, freshen themselves up, work on their fashion or work on their hair for like longer than they have to. And then they're going to wear some fresh ass clothes. And then they're going to go outside and they're going to turn heads. And when they present their talent, they're not just going to present it like Aries, which is why Aries is dope, because Aries on the spot, without any rehearsal, can just express raw original talent that they didn't steal from anyone else and came from them. Libra is now going to polish this rawness and express perfection. See, the difference between raw talent is raw expression isn't perfect. It shows you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. Libra now refines and purifies this to only give you the best. And that's really the difference. I wouldn't necessarily say one is better than the other. In fact, now that your moon has progressed into Aries, you need that rawness. In order to complete this Libra aspect, the downside to Libra is being so polished to in your image that you forget who the hell you are and you lose all sense of individuality. And some Libras get in trouble for copying other people or taking certain lines and whatnot. You'll never see an Aries get in trouble for that. I noticed. But I feel like there's an artistry to Libra. Like, Libra doesn't steal it because they are not original. they steal it because they feel that they can do it better than the original, which has some sense of artistic integrity, as much as people won't admit that. But other than that, this Libra progression at the mastery now that you possess at 20 degrees makes for you not only completing this Libra chapter, but relative to you having your Virgo in the first house represents how you have successfully manifested the value of your personality. As a Gemini, I'm not really the biggest fan of progressing through Cancer, but the reason why I like it is because we have Jupiter in Cancer, and so Jupiter and Chiron definitely makes this legendary psychic experience. It's just you and I chose the wrong time to progress through cardinal signs, because as you can see, I don't have to convince you. You directly experience it the past 20 years. It's like the same time we decided to progress through Cancer, Pluto decided to tour and destroy Capricorn. After it went through Sagittarius and squared our mutable suns, then it started to, square our cardinal progress suns, and then Saturn went through. So like, there's a war in the cardinal signs, and so the decision to progress through cardinal signs through the 90s and the 2000s was it put us in a very dangerous positions, and it actually speaks to how badass and powerful you are, because you're progressing through cardinal signs while there's the most intense cardinal transits. For example, just like I'm progressed 19 degrees, I just turned 19 degrees, just like you're turning 21 degrees. Saturn is, in Cap, Pluto's in Cap, squaring this, opposing me, squaring you. And that's difficult. Like 2017, 2018 hurt. Like that was not easy. And we were directly like having to fight this battle. All right. And I just kind of wanted to illustrate, because we have this cardinal aspect. The cardinal progressions we're having, just literally, because now in cardinals our second, is to shift in gear and click this cardinal nature of the power. Because what's going to happen now that you're a master is that you have gone from the ability to experience the magic that you are to now convert that analysis into actual psychic power. And we don't even have to say psychic power, into actual social power. So that's what I really love about the Virgo progression. You're taking the analytical nature of how strategically you act, and you're still bringing it into Libra. But now while you analyze, you socialize with people. And now you know what to analyze while you're talking to people. You're extending forth your magic powerfully, and the ability to build relationships and attract people to you as your progressed rising is now ruled by the love goddess Venus. Okay. Aphrodite, as they say, which we see progressed in Sagittarius, Swagatarius, if I may say. And this is once again very important, because now that you've progressed into this very powerful sign of Libra, what this serves to do very accordingly is to really challenge you vigorously concerning who you define yourself as, based on who you hold space with around you. And this is definitely very important, because when we take into consideration the nature of how powerfully you are wrapping this energy up, the purpose of this progression is to add so much confidence in the nature of how powerfully you easily express your innate abilities and how much more confidently you socially express yourself, ridding and overcoming any social anxiety that comes from the stress of just being Virgo. And there's great stress of being Virgo because Virgo has this magical ability to attract utterly stupid people who stress you out even more as you show them facts, and then they start to argue with you as if your facts can be debated. I know, I'm sorry. But, someone has to do it because y'all kind of fix everything or show us better ways of rationalization. We do know that, once again, with your progressed moon in Aries rounding up through this transit, this is now completing your ability to express the raw, original quality of how much more polished your character is based on how efficiently you also deal with other people. This is going to, moving forward, prepare you once again to step into the Scorpio Sun transit in another 9 to 10 years. So, that being said, knowing that the moon moves through a zodiac sign every 2.5 years, the progressed moon, we know that in another 7 months, it'll be 21. 7 months from now is gonna be March. 10 months from March is gonna be, let's just say, like October, November of 2021. So October, November of 2021, you'll be progressed into Taurus. 2.5 years from that will be 2022, 2023. Let's say June of 2024. 2.5 years from then is gonna be 2026. And that's what I wanted to make sure of. I wanted to see if you're going to have your third quarter square before the sun goes in to Scorpio. And if we actually pull up 2027, we see that that's the case. So the moon's going to be 25 and the sun's going to be 27. So before the moon leaves Cancer, you're going to have your final third quarter square. So the reason why this is important is when we look at mutable progressions, once again, the purpose of mutable progressions are not only to convert spirit magic into spirit power, but also to align and change the nature of your perception. If you think of the significance of mutable zodiac signs, that come before cardinal zodiac signs, we know for a fact that before you take an action, you have to perceive where you're going. And so the nature and direction of where you cardinally act is very much so determined by the perception of where you're going. And so progressed mutable sign transits adjust your focus and adjust your perception so that when you progress into cardinal signs, you're going in the proper direction. And we know that you were born right before the full moon. You were born right before the full moon in Pisces. So you were born, you had the full moon in Pisces, you completed your perception with the being receptive to why things are Virgo, how they are. Then you had the third quarter square before Libra to finally adjust your perception, where if the new moon in Virgo is a new awareness of how reality works, and then the first quarter square is the hidden meaning, like a critic, of how reality works, and the full moon is the why reality works this way. Then the third quarter square is the truth, and it's like, here are relevant truths of how reality works that you now need to change your perception. The square means new information comes to adjust your current perception. And this is what now prepares you to step into Libra. So you have the new moon in Libra. You establish this newness of self as artist. You step into the first quarter square in Capricorn, which prepares you initial integrity tests to understand the integrity of your power as an artist and to understand how you feel about that. Then you come into the full moon right now, which is appropriately now, ironically, polishing out or making more raw this sense of yourself as an artist with authenticity. And this is now going to now finish with, in 2026, how sincere you feel about yourself, so that you can align the mastery of your artistic character with the sincere emotions to now connect with the world and prepare you for Scorpio, because fixed sign progressions now have everything to do with manifesting the power of your character, which as a Virgo rising is going to not only begin to or continue in this vein to develop now your attitude, because as a Virgo sun, you've progressed into your second house. So you're manifesting your value. Now you're going to translate that value into an attitude, a pure attitude. And what makes this even greater is that you're getting ready to awaken. This is misleading to say, because you've already gone through awakenings. So this is another stage of awakening where you step into Scorpio, you come over your Venus and inherit the depth of the wisdom of your beauty. And then once you go over Pluto, which will be in another 13 years, that's not true, which will be in another 23 years, this is what's going to denote, intense Kundalini awakenings that you can induce for others too. You won't have to wait until it's exactly on Pluto. As soon as it goes through Scorpio, you're going to feel it and be aware of it the whole transit. 30 years of intense Kundalini awakening and just transformation that I feel you induce for other people too. So, you got your work cut out for you. As a progressed Leo, I'd have to go through the progressed Pluto square and what's going to make this, you and I have to be warriors, because not only are we progressing into cardinal sign, first of all, we were born in mutable signs, so we had to deal with the Pluto square. Then we progressed into then we progressed into Libra, and now we had to deal with the Capricorn square. Then when we progressed into fixed signs, we're going to have to deal with Pluto and Aqua. So it's like we're actually on the dial of this spiritual war very intensely. And you'll find that everyone has their own role and connects. In a very rare case, some people have positive aspects to this, so it's not as intense. If anything, it's very easy flowing. Not for us. So there you go. In fact, when you progress into Pluto and Scorpio, Pluto's going to be on your moon in Aqua, squaring that. So that's going to be very intense. And it's going to really speak of a period of your life where you unlock the deepest wisdom of your knowledge like never before. Other than that, though, this actually, it's even more ironic because it looks like at some point your progressed moon will be transiting Pluto while Pluto is transiting your progressed moon, which is, once again, also super badass. If we take into account now the personal progressions that you've made, we know that your Mars has progressed with your Sun and Rising, taking the mastery of your analytical strategy and movement and desire, and now altruistically defining this with greater class and charm so that you move effectively, cooperatively. I think a popular misconception is that Mars and Libras can't take independent action. This is not totally true, but it really just speaks of the more mindful action instead of instinctual action that me with, or people like me with Mars and Aries have. And then Mercury is key because you were born with Mercury retrograde. Retrogrades are somewhat significant in progress charts when they go direct. That means Mercury may have actually progressed back into Virgo and then went direct, which will represent a very key and pivotal change in your thinking and thinking patterns, which enable at a very, very, or in a very, very profound and amazing way, this overcoming of blockages in the mind. But retrogrades don't have to be anything bad too. This really just represents a very reevaluative period since birth that at some time recently over the few years you concluded and have now fleshed out into coming into a more confident understanding of not only how to express your character, but to, of course, add the charm and flair with the words you use. This is where Mercury coming over the natal retrograde is going to form a alignment and completion of sorts to represent the way you used to think versus the way you think now, and how much more powerful you are because of it. So, thankfully, we've definitely seen a very important level and dynamic of you really in a position to, accordingly and accurately come into greater evolution of your being, into mastering social power. Once again, over the next decade, but preferably 3 to 5 years, we're going to see your progressed sun form a trine to your moon, your natal moon. And this will serve to facilitate a continued sense of, this will serve to facilitate a continued sense of greater understanding as you, due to the ninth house element of this, develop a much more powerful awareness of how exactly you tap into your soul's knowledge. If there was some type of clash between your Virgo sun and Aqua moon, it is a progressed trine like so that now takes what used to be challenging about harnessing your aqua moon and actually makes this effortless, in that you now more than ever know aqua moon, uh, more what and how to say what you say to people, progress Libra Sun. Even though, considering you're progressed, your moon is in Aries now. We also want to take into account Jupiter and Chiron, which barely seem to have moved, but are still a part of this progression. Also with Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn. Uranus has actually made it 1 degree in 50 minutes in 31 years. I mean, these planets never move. Jupiter has progressed 10 degrees, which is awesome. And Chiron has progressed 16, which is wild. Just 1 degree. Jesus Christ. So seeing that your progressed Jupiter is squaring your Mercury and progressed Mercury, and also your progressed Mercury is squaring your natal and progressed Capricorn, this cardinal cross that we see represented has much to do with the pressure that goes into clicking into gear the direction of your actions and the cardinal nature of your character. Fun fact, I think it's kind of amazing how Cardi B on the surface doesn't seem to have extensive knowledge of astrology, but you actually have Cardiath B's sun and moon right now. And the Libra Aries are both cardinal signs. Cardinal, Cardi. I thought that was like super dope. That's just an example of living so into your archetype. You kind of are too on point. But yeah, the Mercury square that's being made to Saturn right now is you restoring the grace of your mind by making it through certain trials that enable you greater confidence in identifying with these hidden aspects of your ancestry and also power. Just remember that Capricorn is linked to your 5th house as a Virgo rising, and so this deeper understanding of your ancestry is meant to stimulate greater confidence in the expression of your incredible talents. Thus also evidenced by your MC progressed into Cancer, adding more sincere power to the enlightenment that you are meant to fulfill to the world per your legacy and its dictates. This is actually more significant than anything, because we currently see Saturn is 27 degrees and Mercury is 27 degrees. And as such, both energies are on your MC progressed and your IC at current, defining the level of power and challenge from outside influences meant to test how much sincerity you have and integrity you exert, so that everything that you're communicating, especially out to the world, is everything that you really feel, no matter how offensive it may come off. Because we're not here to coddle people's feelings. We're here to, be real and be sincere, and for people to be stronger because of such important interactions. Once again, Mercury that is progressing past this Capricorn gauntlet is more so of a series of tests to shape your mind before it comes back into Mercury and then evolves. What's going to happen is your progressed Mercury, and it's the reason why this is also important for you is as a Virgo rising, it's very important to track progressed Mercury, even though you're progressed Libra rising now. And Venus is also another important planet to track. So right now you're progressed 3 degrees Mercury. It's going to go past Saturn, and then it's going to go past Neptune. And then once it now connects with Mercury, you've passed these tests, which add more power. Through these outside clashes, if you think of a skirmish, so that through trial and through pressure, you grow more powerful. And then this is going to align back with 10 and evolve because of the 10-degree progressed Jupiter. And then move forward accordingly. Eventually square through your progressed Chiron to heal you for the difficulty of Capricorn. And then it's all steam ahead. Venus, which your heart is extremely pure in Scorpio, has evolved into now free expression. And so you're taking the intensely pure, loyal nature of your heart and you're expressing it in more adventurous ways that allow you to manifest meaning of the wisdom of your heart. This is going to take this deeper energy and now express out the wild quality of it, while simultaneously developing your attitude as a progressed Libra rising. Much of how this perfectly also comes into form makes your development even more significant, considering that not only is progressive Venus transiting Chiron, but your progressed moon has recently gone over transiting Chiron, which is squaring your natal Chiron, and transiting Mars will retrograde over your progressed moon. So this is really going to fill you with a lot of passion and assertiveness necessary to bring that raw original spark to the right people you need to deal with, which is a fancy way of saying you might smack a person or two, because that Chiron energy can be very difficult to deal with and very sensitive. And the volatile nature of that can just, take your hand and, automatically smack someone without you even wanting to. It's just they said something, and before you know, bam, you just smack their face. And, it is what it is. But other than that, seeing that all this energy has progressed accordingly is a very amazing testament to your growth, as well as to everything you're in a position to move forward with. Because the most important, relevant part of this chart is really that you have successfully completed the Libra / cosmic agent / artist initiation. You are a full-fledged Libra now, and you have exerted and evolved your ability to analyze cosmically, right? You've evolved cosmic aquamoon analysis, Virgo Sun, into raw artistic expression, taking this cosmic analysis and expressing this in authentic and original artistic ways so that you can impact social dynamics accordingly and balance the general nature of individuals' characters with your pure finesse and charm. I hope you enjoyed this deluxe progressed report, and you stay blessed as always. And until next time.